welcome to the Weekly Mag! Today we'll be having a cinematic talk with two Catalan directors, Belén and Ramon Térmens. Clara Gispert is going to amaze us with her marvellous voice. Have you got any tics or manias to confess? We'll be dealing with all that in our Guess What quiz. This is the Weekly Mag, your TV show in English, hosted by Marcela Topor.
Hello and welcome to the Weekly Mag, the TV program that both entertains and helps you keep up your English. And today in Words and Facts we have our contributors Mario Serra, Matthew Tree and Humberto Gonzalez. Hello and welcome to the Weekly Mag.
Thank you.
Well, we start with Mario Serra, who is an expert in enigmas, does like to keep things a mystery. But I need to ask you, Marius, what have you prepared for us today?
We're going to talk about animal and vegetal kingdoms. Can you imagine any expression about worms, horses, or cucumbers?
I'm good with the worms and the
You're
horses,
good with worms.
but with the cucumbers, I've never heard anything about cucumbers. Have you heard anything about any idioms with cucumbers?
Just the one. Just the one. To be as cool as a cucumber.
I've never even heard that one.
Does anyone use that, actually?
It sounds Oscar
cool as a
Wilde
cucumber.
style.
Yeah.
Okay.
No. After Oscar Wilde. In Britain,
right.
we still say that.
We talk about cucumbers, but in a way that I can't talk about now.
Oh,
Publicly.
Yeah.
Okay.
okay.
Well, I will stick with bookworms.
Yeah, maybe it's not the best thing to eat, but we'll make a salad, a delicious salad with all these words, even with bookworms inside the books.
A nice cocktail.
Yeah, quite. And before that, I must remind you the last guess word so that you can think about it for half a minute. Mm-hmm. The most specific pavement. It was an 8 letters. The most specific pavement.
You can't throw us another bone on that one?
You can strain your brains a bit more.
Well, and talking about brains, our reporter Humberto has tried to discover how we set our brains in motion in the morning. So Humberto decided to find out how Catalans wake up in the morning. And where did you go to look for examples for that?
I went to Premià de Mar. Did I just say that in very American? Premià de Mar. Let me say it again.
Okay.
And,
in Catalan.
Yes. So I went there, and I was shocked by the number of English speakers that approached us that we were able to get. Also, I was shocked by how cute they were.
Really?
Yes, and and the most shocking part was actually how they use an alarm to wake up. Take a look at this example.
I don't have alarm.
I don't use alarms.
No, I wait for the sun to rise up.
Yeah, I usually wake up before the alarm rings.
You don't have an alarm that you hit and you say, shut
I
up!
don't need an alarm. I wake up just with the sun. I can sleep anything in the morning, like.
Catalans wake up with the sun.
Well, Catalans don't seem to have much use for alarm clocks. Right? Or maybe it's just the people in Premià de Mar. Anyway, we'll see about that in a little while because now we're going to kick off Words and Facts with Matthew, who's going to surprise us about a very strange Catalan export, something that we have on the table, right?
Yes.
The cactus.
Or the grass. No.
Today I'm going to talk about espadrilles. Espadrilles are rope-soled sandals. I mean, all this sounds incredibly boring as hell. But in fact, espadrilles are one of the most international Catalan products ever. And to prove it's a Catalan product, because the name espadrille comes from the French, espadrille.
Did they steal this from the Catalans like they did the creme brulee?
Oh, it's even more complicated. It's even more complicated, Humberto. Espadrille comes from the Occitan word, which is espardillo, but espardillo comes from the Catalan espardenya. And espardenya it's first documented in 1322. So, in other words, these sandals, and here we have the typical Catalan version of the espadrille, they're sold all over the world, and they were invented and named in Catalonia 700 years ago.
Oh my God, wait. My friends in America are going to flip over this because they told me that they've been using this since they were kids, and I didn't even notice. I had never actually seen them, but all my friends in the United States said yes, they used the espadrille all the time throughout high school, college, everything else. Now tell me, where exactly does this name originate from then?
Espadrille, it comes from Espardenya, from the Catalan word, which comes in turn, it's a derivative, I suppose, in English of, it would be esparto grass. And esparto grass is a kind of grass that grows in North Africa and Southern Europe, and it's what they use to make traditionally to make the soles of these shoes with, and the rest are normally canvas. The upper part is normally canvas, so that's where the name comes from.
But this is the traditional model with, and this is international?
Yes, it's been, especially funnily enough, as Umberto's mentioned it, in the United States, that particular model has been fashionable since the 1940s.
Shut the front door. Shut the front door.
I love that expression.
Wait, since the 1940s, I can't even imagine. I thought it was maybe like something from the 70s. How exactly did it arrive in the 1940s in the United States?
Hollywood. Hollywood. You remember how there was a famous moment where Clark Gable, in a film whose name I always forget, It Happened One Night, which came out in 1934.
Wait, do we have a clip on that?
He took off his shirt and he wasn't wearing a vest underneath at a time when all men wore vests underneath their shirts. The result was that the sales of vests in the United States went down by 75%.
Oh my
Wait.
God.
I cannot believe this because I always wondered, there was a period from the Old West throughout the early 20th century where men are always seen wearing vests, and that is the reason that all of a sudden you are a wealth of information. Go on, I'm sorry.
There you go. So what happened with espadrilles, especially this type of espadrille, is that the opposite happened. In other words, major movie stars started wearing these sandals in very well-known films, and that was what created a fashion for them in the United States. For example, in Key Largo, which is perhaps one of Lauren Bacall and Humphrey Bogart's best-known films, she is wearing espadrilles on the set. In other words, she's filmed wearing, I mean, the pictures are amazing if you could look them up. She's wearing Catalan espadrilles, and there's also another picture of Humphrey Bogart also wearing Catalan espadrilles, but off the set when he was relaxing. And John F. Kennedy wore. There's a picture of him, which people can look up, of him wearing Catalan espadrilles.
That must be Xavier Cugat's fault.
Yeah,
Because
maybe.
his friend
Yeah, it's
Cugat.
possible.
He was friend. They were friends, weren't they? Exactly.
John F. Kennedy.
Yeah, John F. Kennedy. And not only that, but in the 40s and then the 50s, the French designer Yves Saint Laurent, he got in on the act in the 60s and started making fashion versions of Catalan espadrilles. And to prove that I'm not making any of this up, the people he commissioned to make them were a Catalan company called the Castanyers, the Castagner family, who, curiously enough, come from Banyoles.
Banyoles! Oh my God.
And I know about this because my neighbor is Llorenç Castagner, and he lives smack opposite me in Banyoles.
I was just going to ask you about that. I mean, I went to Banyoles. You think you could have actually given me a hint?
Yeah, I didn't know I was going to talk about espadrilles weeks later, but there you go.
So it looks like it wasn't just a passing fad.
No, not
Right.
at all, not at all. Like I said, 40s, 50s, 60s, and it was kept going in part by Salvador Dalí because he always wore
Yeah.
the
That's
traditional
He was
Catalan
a massive
espadrilles.
fan of the espadrilles.
Exactly, and any pictures of him, like, you know, relaxing, laying around in Cadaqués or in Port Lligat, he's always wearing espadrilles, to the extent that some companies that make espadrilles now, they call them the espadrille Dalí, or the Dalí
it's a model,
espadrille,
yeah.
you know, as a kind of advertising thing, and that's still going on. And in fact, some designers, modern designers, have even created designer espadrilles, which have become really very, very chic, especially again in the United States. For example, there's a Barcelona-based company called Viscata. They have just brought out their 2020 collection. We're going to see a bit of it on the video now, and I wrote to them asking them, how come, you know, you're making all these sort of espadrilles based on the Catalan model? And they replied, and I quote, "It's a timeless style that customers can use to dress up or dress down. In other words, formally or informally, and it just works."
That's right.
Now, I have a question about the pronunciation of espadrille. Espadrille is how we pronounce it in America, but in Catalan, do they say espadrilla?
Espardeña.
Espadanya.
Espadanya. So they went from, like you explained earlier, from espadrilla, but at the very beginning, they would say espadrille at the very beginning, or is it?
No, at the very beginning they said Espardeña, and then in southern France, where they spoke the Occitan language, they picked it up and came out with Espardillo, and the French took it from the southern French into the French language and called it espadrille. And in English, that's espadrille.
Excuse my French. Yes, I'm saying.
Good Lord.
Right. Okay, so do you wear espadrilles yourselves? Matthew, Marius, Umberto?
No, I need to get some.
Not
Yeah,
the traditional
definitely.
ones. Usually wear in the summer, but
Okay,
more
like
like
this
a
here?
modern one.
Uh-huh,
Yeah.
okay.
Sometimes I have come to this program with my espadrilles, but
Yeah, I
not the
remember.
traditional one.
I used to wear those. I used to wear those. Everybody laughed, but especially when I went outside Catalonia, you know, everybody laughed at me wearing
Really?
them. But to give you an idea, if we could just watch a little clip of this video to show you how this kind of espadrille has become so fashionable and so trendy and so chic. Gives you an idea.
Okay.
Open your eyes, what can you see around? Wind of the open sky, over the siren sound.
So there we go. The espadrille coming from Catalan, Espardeña, and invented and named here 700 years ago, back in 1322.
My friends are going to flip. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and buy some, and next time I'm going to wear them on the show.
Okay, great.
Great.
Now I think it's Marius's turn to surprise us with the origin of certain idioms, these ones in particular.
I guess I like the idiom earworm, because me and my partner will always break into song, and then we'll get that song like stuck in our head all day long, and I go to bed and it's still in my head and I can't get to sleep, and
I like cool as a cucumber because, well, the word is funny, and I don't know, like it's funny. When it's funny, I love that.
Okay, I like hold your horses because it's like when you're doing a joke or like turning crazy and the other person has passed the limit, you like hold your horses and I like that.
Okay, we could do 1,000 episodes and we'd never run out of English expressions, right?
Of course, and maybe related to animals, there are dozens
many.
of them, lots of them. First one, take these earworms, these terrible songs or jingles that you can't get rid of them in the morning. You just wake up and that earworm. This is a very recent idiom. In fact, it's the 20th century, and it comes from German, I don't know if I'll pronounce properly, earworm, which is a nocturnal insect that in English is called earwig.
An earwig.
Earwig, that's it.
Yeah.
So, but in fact, worms were the idea, so earworm took the idea. There are lots of idioms or other idioms with worms. For instance, even a worm will turn, to meaning that even the weakest will fight back if you provoke him. Do you use it? Or? Or do you recognize it?
I've heard it, but I don't use it.
So formal, maybe.
Yeah, you can say it like the worm has turned. I've heard that.
The worm has
meaning exactly what you said, that someone weak who was being attacked or some country that was being attacked finally reacts, something like that.
Like
the worm
David
has
and
turned.
Goliath or something
Exactly,
like
yeah.
that. Okay. Not you.
The most popular one is the one that Marcello said, the bookworm. But otherwise, early bird gets the worm.
Yeah, I was going to say. Took the words out of my mouth. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the early bird takes or catches the worm. This is a proverb. In fact, it's not an idiom, and it's a general, universal proverb. Of course, it's like Josep Guardiola when he says we have to wake up very early, very early, very early in the morning in Catalan, meaning that you make effort and you get what you want. Yeah. So this is for poor worm. The bird picks it up if it's in the morning. No, I don't know if you know other expressions with insects or worms or. Marcella, do you?
To be a fly on the wall.
Yeah, good one,
very
Marcella.
good.
Yeah, very good one. Yeah.
To be a fly on the wall.
Yeah, nice one.
Yeah, nice one.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of another one with insects, but...
With bees also, I think there are quite a
Busy
few.
bee.
Yeah,
busy bee. You are very working all the time.
The birds and the bees.
Yeah, we talk about that.
Yes.
Thing.
What age do you tell your children about the birds and bees? That was good. In other words, sex. I mean, I don't know where they got that from. But.
Yeah, where did they get that from?
Okay, and let's continue. Let's continue if you want this theme of country life.
Yeah.
Because we have the cucumbers, the famous cucumbers.
From the bee to the cucumber. Well, this is quite refreshing to be. You said it before. To be as cool as a cucumber, meaning not the low temperature, but being calm, right?
Yeah.
You're cool, that you can do more things.
Yeah.
In fact, it was first recorded in 18th century in a poem by John Gay. This poet started a poem like this: "My passion is a mustard strong, I sit all sober sad," and it ends like this: "If Molly were but kind, cool as a cucumber could see the rest of womankind." So from that poet, it comes to our days with, for me, it's Oscar Wilde expression, because it's usual in Oscar Wilde's comedies. Cool as a cucumber. I remember cucumber. I don't know why, but I associate it to Oscar Wilde. But the thing is that there are lots of idioms using this structure, as, comparative idioms. For instance, so you must know lots of them, but as brown as berry, referring to a more standard skin, not mine, not yours, maybe yours.
As brown as berry. But I've never heard of it.
Yeah, because in the summer the sun's tan. Yeah.
I mean, we haven't said as brown as berry. What do we say? We do have a
a tan.
You have one?
Yeah, we have a tan, but we do have a lot of them, like you said, with as blank.
Yeah.
But they don't come on my.
For instance, another one would be as skin as a mustard. A skin as mustard. In Catalan, we talk about tan viu com una mostela, but mustard is not the animal, but I don't know why. That means enthusiastic.
As keen as mustard.
Keen as mustard, like you have enthusiasm.
And you've also got, which Americans I think use more than English people, to cut the mustard. Something cuts the mustard means it's successful, it works,
great.
It's good.
And last one of this structure that it strikes to me as a very surprising one, as different as chalk and cheese. Do you use that?
Yes.
Definitely,
yes.
That's British. In Catalan, we would compare an egg and a chestnut, un ou y una castanya, to talk to something which is different, but chalk and cheese.
And cheese.
Because they are white and maybe you eat the cheese and
but you can't eat chalk. Yeah, just so.
Okay, interesting. What about animals?
Well,
we had horses.
horses.
We have lots of animal idioms, yeah.
Lots of them, and lots of horses one. But strangely enough, hold on your horses, the same idea to mean slow down, man, slow down. In Catalan, we would say stop the carriage. Para el carro.
But
that's the same idea.
The same idea, the same animal.
Yeah. Well, but we put our focus on the carriage, not on the animals, not the whole the horses, right? But there are lots of idioms with horses. One very universal comes, don't look a gift horse in the mouth.
Yeah. Okay.
I think this is very ancient one. It comes from Latin, so we all have it. And a last one about horses. I don't know if you know any other one, maybe Umberto, because in America there must be more than here. Is don't change horses in midstream.
Yeah.
Right?
Exactly.
But I made some research. Well, it means that you don't have to change your leader or your basic principles in the middle of
I actually hadn't heard that one.
No?
No.
It's an American origin.
Really?
It's got from Abraham Lincoln. It's supposed to be that some people urged him to be a presidential candidate in an election, and he said, an old Dutch farmer remarked to a companion once that it was not best to swap horses when crossing streams.
Wow.
So that's the same idea. Don't you use it?
Nope. I have never used that one. We used other ones like I heard it from the horse's mouth, meaning that you heard it from the actual person that it happened to. One of my favorites is, I've got to see a man about a horse. That's when you leave the room to do something that you don't want to lie about, but you don't want to tell people about either. So you say, I've got to see a man about a horse, and then everybody wonders. You make everybody wonder, what is he going to do? Have you guys used that?
No, I've always heard I've got to see a man about a dog.
About the dog?
You use a dog instead of a horse.
Yeah.
Of course.
Okay, very interesting.
That's Europe. Not so many horses.
Yeah. Okay, because we are running out of time, let's go to Premià de Mar with Umberto. So Umberto, were they willing to talk about their mornings?
Yes, and there were more morning people than I thought.
Really?
So, yes.
Okay, morning people, what's the meaning of that expression?
Okay, that's somebody
somebody who's the complete opposite of me, basically. That's.
And me too, maybe. The two of us.
So therefore, you might be night people, and the difference is that a morning person wakes up and he's very happy and joyful. He's the person that drives me crazy, yes. And the night person is the person that likes to get to bed late, but doesn't like to be woken up and be joyful in the morning. Now, there is a difference between that and another two terms called early bird and night owl.
Okay.
So an early bird is somebody that likes to get up early, but is not necessarily happy. He gets up early, but he's not necessarily happy. A morning person is very happy. A night owl is a person that likes to go out at night to a nightclub on festivities and have a good time. So if you say you are a night owl, you're a partier. If you're a night person, that means that you like to go to bed late, but you're not necessarily partying. Do you understand the differences?
Yep.
Yeah.
So this is mainly what I wanted to find out, whether people were morning people or night people. I didn't care whether they partied or not.
Okay.
So let's
we have
take
a
a
look. Yeah.
Some people are morning people, those horrible, energetic human beings that can't shut up in the morning. And some people are night people, those lovable vampires that don't want to go to sleep early and don't want to wake up early either. Let's find out how Catalans feel about this in Premià de Mar. Oh. Are you a morning person or an evening person? Tell me.
I'm a morning person.
Evening. I woke up just 2 hours ago. It's 2 o'clock, so at 12. I don't need the coffee, just like...
Pure energy in the morning.
Yeah.
Can you be my alarm? I'm gonna give you my number.
8, I 8:30, I want to sleep 5 minutes, 5 minutes.
5-minute nap.
People can do like that, just stop it. 5 minutes.
I know.
Maybe 1 hour. So
Exactly. You're a vampire like me.
Yeah.
I usually wake up before the alarm rings.
I don't have alarm.
I don't use alarms.
No, I wait for the sun to rise up.
Time to work again, y'all. Do you actually go like, or do you go and get out of bed?
The second one.
The second one.
Yeah.
Okay. Can you do it for me?
No.
Do you stretch?
No, I don't.
Tell us what you do normally. What's the first thing you do after you wake up in the morning?
First of all, I have a shower.
First, I have breakfast.
Don't go to the bathroom first?
I have breakfast.
I don't usually pee in the morning.
I thought everybody went to the bathroom first. How long do you spend on the throne?
If I'm watching YouTube or something like that, I can spend like 20 minutes.
So you go to the gym in the morning?
When I wake up.
Show me some muscles.
No muscles.
Do you sleep with somebody?
Yeah. when I can, yeah.
When you can. Do you have your girlfriend next to you?
Yeah. I prefer she not disturb me for to wake up. I'm the angry person of this relationship.
So have you ever broken an alarm clock or hit it many times because you don't want to wake up?
Sometimes I would have liked it.
This is probably something every one of us has wanted to do all their lives. Revenge! Oh my God, that's a good one. That felt so good. Have you woken up one time and not know where you are?
Yeah, sometimes. I lived abroad in some difficult and dangerous places. I remember once I woke up in a town I didn't remember I was in. It was in southern Algeria.
There you go, folks. Different strokes for different folks. Have you picked up a tip on how to wake up from these people today? I still like the old way of getting up in the morning with a little bit of fresh water.
I used to drink a lot when I was younger, not now. When you wake up, you are still on the car, but in front of your home. It's worst thing it can happen, you know, because
Still in the car.
a few more steps and you would be in a bed, but you wake up in the car.
It's like day and night here, y'all, and I prefer the night. Well, I want to ask you guys first, because one thing that I noticed is that nobody went to the bathroom first in the morning. How is that possible? First thing I do in the morning is go to the bathroom. What's the first thing that you guys do in the morning?
Coffee?
You don't go to the bathroom first either?
Well, that's private.
No, I go to the bath, but and have a douche.
I read until it's time to go to the bathroom.
Unbelievable,
You're
ladies
reading?
and gentlemen.
The first thing I do when I wake up, I grab a book and start reading.
Wow.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Nice.
Okay.
This is the last thing I do
Umberto,
at night.
What about you?
I thought everybody had to get up. You've been sleeping for a long time. You had to get up and pee. And at least I think that's the first thing you thought. I thought everybody did.
And after that?
Oh, after that, then I actually get my coffee and do other things.
All right, like breakfast and so on.
Exactly, and read.
Right.
Read the news.
Okay, but you are, I think it is clear for all of us that you are, you're not an early person, an early bird. You're not an early bird, you're a night owl.
I am, I'm no longer a night owl either because I don't go out that much anymore, but I am a night person. I love to go to bed late, and in the morning when I get up, I stay in bed after I pee. Go back to bed, and I stay there for like 30 minutes, and I say, okay, I gotta rise.
You enjoy the moment.
Time. Yes.
The morning moment. Right, actually, was that an alarm clock in the video or a kitchen timer?
That is my kitchen cooking timer. That looks like an alarm clock.
It was, right? Because poor thing, it doesn't, I'm not sure it's going very well right now.
It's so old, it stopped working. I had taken really good care of it, but it just stopped working. I said, I'm just gonna bring it in as a prop now, because it looked like one of my old alarm clocks that I had prior to having phone alarms, because now we have all these phone alarms. But if you remember before then, you had these alarms that had these two bells that made all this noise.
Oh, yeah.
And it reminded me.
And did you enjoy breaking it?
I did.
Can tell us the truth.
Yes, I actually hated getting up early when I was younger. Now, I actually do a little bit of the Catalan way, and I get up without having an alarm. But when I was younger, I hated that alarm. Did you guys hate that alarm?
I had a
well.
friend in Australia in the
Terrible.
1980s who used to work on the metro system, which meant that he had to be absolutely punctual to get to work. And he got so tired of this that one day the alarm went off, he picked it up, went to the toolbox, got a hammer, went out into his garden, put down the clock and smashed it completely to pieces with the hammer.
That's how I felt when I was actually breaking that down.
And he just felt great after that.
Anyway, what's your relationship with the alarm clock?
Don't use them.
You have this natural alarm clock. How do you say a biological
Clock. A biological clock.
That's nice.
Okay.
And what about the last guess word? It was, I remind you, the most specific pavement. It was an
I didn't
eight-letter
get it.
word. Any idea?
Sidewalk.
No.
Sidewalk, no.
No. Marcella?
No,
8 words.
I don't know.
most
I'm not
specific
inspired
pavement.
at the moment.
Tick tack, tick tack. Concrete.
Oh, of
Because
course.
something
When
which
he
is
says the
specific
answer, it's so
concrete.
obvious,
Yes,
isn't
exactly.
it's not abstract, it's concrete, it's so specific, and it's that hard material that you've got on the pavement. Maybe the pavement is different for Umberto or for you, because English and British and American
Sidewalk.
sidewalk is for
Oh,
you.
is that what he meant?
Yeah. Oh, you meant sidewalk, you said.
Oh no, we don't call it pavement, we call it sidewalk. So it's the
Okay.
most specific sidewalk. Oh.
This is
Yeah,
a
I
good
still
thing
wouldn't have gotten it.
about having here people from America and from the UK. There are so many words and versions, not for the same thing.
I still wouldn't have gotten it, but yes.
Yeah. Okay, and do we have any homework for next week?
Yeah, this is shorter, but I'm afraid it's more difficult. I know. Let's see. Small cubes in the cemetery, 4 letters. Small cubes in the cemetery, 4 letters.
I think I know it, but I won't say a word.
Okay.
Anyway, and our Enigma lovers have a new challenge. If you know the answer, as always, you know that you can go online and post your solution to the guess word on our social media profile. And as always, we'll have the next solution next week. Until then, well, we say goodbye to Marius, Matthew, and Umberto. Until next time, have a great week. And we still have plenty of surprises on today's show. Now, there's nothing like a book or a film to help you keep up your English. These are today's recommendations with Miquel Lopez from Televisió de Badalona and Salvador Faura from the Xarxa de Bibliotecas Municipals of the Diputació de Barcelona.
Many people are familiar with the songs of the marvelous Land of Oz, and everybody, young and old, knows the lyrics of one of these songs in particular, which is Somewhere Over the Rainbow. Sadly, not everybody remembers the plot of the book. Well, I'm not here to tell you about the plot of this book, but I'm here to remind you of the fact that the book was written by Frank Baum in 1904, that the book was a success ever since, that there are many film and theater versions of it, that the book is a collection of 14 books called the Oz books, and that it is actually the second after one other book called The Marvellous Wizard of Oz. Well, when you know everything about the plot of this novel, come back and tell me all about it.
Catalonia, generally speaking, and especially the city of Barcelona, always have loved Woody Allen's movies. And in 2008, Woody Allen decided to return this love by filming Vicky, Cristina, Barcelona. This is a romantic comedy with the usual complicated Allen's love stories, with triangles and bisexual relationships. Or, in other words, it tells what happens when two ladies, Vicky and Cristina, visit Barcelona and, apart from Gaudi's architecture, meet some interesting and in some cases mentally disturbed local people. Vicky is Rebecca Hall, Cristina Scarlett Johansson, and the local people are Javier Bardem and Penélope Cruz, who, by the way, was the first Spanish woman to win an Oscar for her role in this movie. Oh, and the movie was so romantic that Bardem and Penelope Cruz fell in love, are a couple since then.
If you love cinema, you can miss today's chat with two emerging Catalan directors, Ramon Térmens and Belén Funes, so you'd better stay tuned.
We are back, and our next protagonist fell in love with Barcelona and its culture the very first time he visited the city. Let me introduce you to Bruce Anderson, an artist and art teacher from Los Angeles, California. Together with his wife, they launched Arte Bar, a place where everybody can feel like an artist while sipping a glass of wine. As for us, we picked up our paintbrush and painted this portrait.
My name is Bruce Anderson, and I'm a painting teacher. From Los Angeles, California, originally. That's where I was born and raised. And when I lived in Los Angeles, I owned a painting school for children and teenagers and taught drawing and painting and more traditional fine art skills to young people, and did that for 10 years with my wife. During that time, we were traveling to Europe quite a lot, and one of the places that we came, actually the first place that I ever visited in Europe, was Barcelona. We had the opportunity to try to live over here for a little bit longer and try to see what it was like living in a foreign country. What happened was we went back to the United States, and we were lucky enough to be able to sell the business that we owned in Los Angeles. And that allowed us the opportunity to make a more permanent move. And in the United States specifically, in other countries as well, but in the US, this concept of paint and wine classes is really popular. It's a huge industry. There's lots of businesses that do it. So we decided we were going to give this a try. And we thought about where should we do this? And it just seemed like the best place that we could come up with was Barcelona. People get confused, and our name is Arte Bar, but we're definitely not a bar. We do painting classes. But like I said, it's not a traditional painting school where you come each week and you work on something very specific and with a goal in mind. Really, the idea here and the way that I begin every class is I tell people that this is about having fun and about feeling like you felt when you were a child and you picked up a crayon or a paintbrush and you started to make some marks on a piece of paper and just get lost in the art of making art and trying to keep it something that's really fun. You can come alone, you can bring friends, and each night we have una tema, we have a painting of the night, and then I take you through that process step by step. I show you the process of how to paint the painting, the different techniques that are involved. Most of the people that come here tell me that they haven't painted since they were a kid, or maybe they used to do it and they stopped. I feel like it's something everybody can do. You know, every child loves to color and to paint and to draw, and so this is really about getting that connection again. The wine part of it is more like just something to enjoy while you're doing the class. We don't really do any kind of formal wine tasting. That helps a lot with some inspiration maybe. I always joke to people that pintura es como mi castellano, dos copas mucho mejor. One thing that we did do almost immediately when we were put into the quarantine here the first time, within the first week, we started to offer these paint classes online. And it was really amazing. The first couple times that we did it, we had maybe 15 or 20 people, and then the next week we had like 30 or 40 people, and really in the middle of the lockdown when nobody was going outside, we had some nights with over 80 people online doing these painting classes. I want people when they come here to leave at the end of the night and feel happy with their product and the painting that they've made. But really my objective is that they enjoy the process of making it, and that during those 3 hours they forget about everything else. Everyone makes something completely unique, and they get to just experience this moment and get in touch with their inner kind of creative self. So yeah, it's really cool.
In front of this uncertain, harsh panorama now facing culture everywhere, our next protagonists are two award-winning film directors that are working successfully on different projects in our country and getting some films going against all the odds. Let's talk about their projects and about how Catalan cinema is coming along. I'm talking about Belén Funes, hello, Belén, and Ramon Térmens, hello.
Hello.
And welcome both to the Weekly Mag.
Thank you very much.
It's a pleasure to have you here. Well, you are both trying to develop a kind of cinema that is based on a lot of research, on a lot of documentation, because you are trying to keep everything as truthful as possible. So how do you decide that a topic or a plot is powerful enough for you to decide to make a movie out of it?
Belén.
Yeah, for me it's something which is personal in a way, because what I write is not always related only to me, but it's about things I've heard, or I've seen, or I've been through. So, but yeah, I try to make stories which are I try to make it a truthful portrait of reality, a very specific reality of the place I'm living. So if it's powerful for me, then I feel like it's going to be powerful for the audience.
If it's touching, right? If it touches you.
Yeah,
okay. And Ramon?
My new movie is the movie number 5.
Yes.
And it was.
Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you, thank you. Well, it was coincidence. I mean, it was in a Christmas party in the school of my son. That then in the meeting, talking with other fathers, one of them, what do you do? Well, I'm a filmmaker. He was a lawyer of immigrants. He's trying to get the papers for them. I say, well, this is very interesting. I made a movie before that it's called Catalunya over alles, that it's talking about this subject. And I think that is maybe interesting. Try to explain the story, the point of view of the lawyers and the point of view of immigrants. And he started to talk me stories, and it was very interesting. I called my screenwriter that he lives in Los Angeles, and in that moment Trump got the presidency in the USA, and say, well, this is very interesting. It's a topic that we want to talk. And the movie then, we made a lot of research, with a lot of lawyers, with activists. And finally, it's the story that we have, that it's a lawyer trying to get this paper for their clients. And then the movie is going to talk about what happened in the immigration centers of detention. It's called CIES.
It's a tough topic indeed. And now let's see Belén's latest movie, La hija de un ladrón. It has been selected at a lot of festivals. It won 3 awards at the Premis Gaudí, highly praised at San Sebastián.
¿Y quién eres? ¿Y cómo te definirías?
Normal.
So, Belén, how would you describe your cinema? Would you say it is intimate?
Yeah, I feel
is that the word?
Yeah, I don't know because I have a problem with all of the labels due to the cinema. But yes, I feel like it's a social drama about a single mother which is trying to survive in a wild and hard city like Barcelona. And I feel it's a movie about characters. It's not an epic movie, it's not an adventure movie, so it's just little as it is.
Did you expect the success it had?
I never thought about achieving San Sebastián official selection because it was my first movie and I'm also a woman, and we know that the first movie made by women, they are not usually in the big festivals, but I'm so happy. because it's a very humble production. It's very small. We were a group of friends, like literally making this movie, and I feel like we get somewhere, and I'm happy for that.
And also, it was your first time. I mean, you actually won the Goya Award for a young director. Is that correct?
Newcoming director. Yeah.
Exactly, newcoming director. So that's a great achievement.
That's a great thing, yeah. For me and for my parents also.
Of course, of course. Right. So let's see. When you make a film, when you decide to make a film, you have the idea, you develop it. Do you think about the audience? Do you think about the critics? Do you keep that in mind? If the critics or the audience will like it, or you just try to concentrate just on the project and not think about that? Because like Woody Allen once said that he never reads any reviews. He doesn't listen to the critics. He just goes with it, right?
No, I do the movie because I need to do. I mean, it's something very personal.
Okay.
It's something that you try to do your best, all your knowledge about life, about cinema, about the story of the cinema. And then if you have the necessity, you have to do it, because if not, I don't know what to do, you know. And then of course you think that about what is going to happen with the audience, or even when you are in edition trying to, you know, an objective point of view that is impossible, but you try, trying to. The last movie is very emotional. And I want to put the audience in the point of view of, for instance, of immigration that could be deported in her fear, for instance.
It's a very harsh topic, and also it's cruel, the cruel reality we are living, which is often ignored.
Yes.
And hidden.
Yes, and I like that the people see the movie and see what happened and try to do something about it. I mean, we have to close these centers. That's the point. Close these centers. It's absolutely an injustice. It's absolutely awful. It's like little Guantanamos here in our country. Sometimes we talk a lot what happened in other countries, but see what happened in our country.
It happens here. Exactly.
And I think that the people, the normal people, the people that only want to be a good person, you know, that it's I think the 90% of the people, 95% of the people, when see the movie, they want to say what is going on. I mean, we have to talk about this subject, and we have to do something. There's a lot of lawyers and organizations and activists trying to do something, but it's not enough. We have to, the majority of the people, and push the government to just close these centers. If I can get this, I will be happy. More than if the movie is good or bad. Hopefully it's good, but if I get some movement against these centers, that will be a good goal.
Yeah, exactly. It is very important to raise people's awareness on this great social injustice. Okay, so you are both Gaudí winners, right? And we are seeing more and more often women directors in the spotlight. More women are getting awards. More women are seeing their efforts, can see the reward for their efforts. So do you think this is a natural process, or do you think that the visibility policy is finally paying off somehow?
Yeah, for me it's something which has very much to do with university. Because when you are in university studying movie, theater, or whatever you're studying, you are not a woman, either a man, you are a student. So you are treated like that. And it is so important because somehow it's out of your mind that you are not going to achieve where your colleagues are achieving, you know? It's like you will get whenever you want to get, because it's a free world. Then when you go to the real world, which is not the world of the university, everything is it's much more complicated. But I think that the possibility of going to the university and get our formation, it's very, very important for us to go to the real world and say, I am here, I am a filmmaker, and I really want to make a movie, or 2 or 3, if it's possible, not just one.
Right. You studied here in Barcelona?
I was studying here in Barcelona, and then I went to Cuba, to the ICTV, which is the Cuban school film in San Antonio de los Baños. And for me it was important because I had the opportunity to, you know, to have my own knowledge about what I really wanted to do.
So I noticed there are more and more women who are studying this profession.
Yeah,
right?
and I am a teacher now in the university, and it's also something which is very important, because if you want to have new women filmmakers, you have to show them reference. It's so important because if you can see it, then you can make it somehow. And there are so many people that are trying to turn this into like a fashion, but I think it's not. I think we are here because we know how to do our work, we know how to do good films, and we are not going anywhere. So.
Okay. Well, Ramon, do you think that gender equality in this business is going better and better? And do you think the situation is different in Catalonia than in Spain?
I think that it's great that every time there's more women and more movies directed by women. I think that Belén made a wonderful movie. And not only like directors, even I have an executive producer that she's a woman. She's great. Cinematographers, composers, more and more there's a woman. I think that it's great for the industry, it's great for the business. Actors, we have a lot of actors very good, like Greta Fernandez in her movie, or even Yolanda Sey in my movie, that she's amazing. She's a singer, she's a presenter of TV too.
All right, and let's talk a little bit about the pandemic. It's been a hard blow for everyone, for the cinema industry as well. How have you coped with it? And have you managed to get some inspiration out of it as well?
Yeah, for me it was, I'm not like where Ramon is now, because he's trying to release a movie, because the La hija de un ladrón was released, and it was at the end of, you know, of all the circuit of festivals. So I was at home when we were into the lockdown.
Yeah.
And then I take this time for writing, and it's hard to write when you are in the middle of a pandemic, because there are so many inputs that are that you have to cope with, and it's difficult. It's not the most inspiring days of my life.
Okay, and you, Ramon?
No, it's a disaster.
It's a disaster, yes.
Yeah, sadly it is.
Yeah, I had to stop the post-production in the first moment that everything was closed, and now we had to postpone the release until December.
Okay.
And
so the film, your new film, will be released?
In December 11.
Okay.
And hopefully, I mean,
hopefully,
yeah,
that's right.
Yes.
If everything goes well.
Yes, but it's time to resist too. I mean, it's time that we have to halt the situation, make new projects. Even maybe it's time to write, you know.
Okay.
In my case.
Yeah, but it's important to try to get something positive out of it, right?
Absolutely.
Okay. Let's stop for a moment, because now it's time for a language tip. Spanish has loaned quite a few words to English, particularly in America, and our teacher Mark Broderick is going to teach us 4 more that you will no doubt come across. That is, if you haven't already.
Hey, so here I have 4 more words for you that have come from Spanish. They are identical as in Spanish, but not exactly the same meaning. And we're going to start with the word guerrilla in Spanish, or gorilla as we would say in English. It sounds like the animal, but it's not. In Spanish, guerrilla is a small group of fighters that fight alone. For example, in the jungles of South America, there was a guerrillas fighting against the government. In English, however, guerrilla is used for one fighter, not 3 or 4 fighters. Then we have the word vigilante or vigilante, as you say in Spanish. A vigilante, of course, is a person who takes the law into their own hand and fights for justice. You could say that somebody like Batman or Superman or the Arrow is a vigilante. Then we have aficionado or aficionado. Aficionado is a person who has a real love for something such as jazz, wine, food, etc. It does not mean that they are a professional. It means that they have spent a lot of time as an aficionado or a fan as a hobby more than anything else. And the last one we have is lasso or lazo, as you say in Spanish, which is of course a piece of rope with a hoop on the end of it. A lasso was used in the Wild West in the movies to swing and catch other people as they were escaping. And also the cowboys used it to grab hold of their cattle. So there you go, whether it's guerrilla, vigilante, aficionado, or lasso, you have 4 more Spanish words to use in English.
Stood still in that half-empty room.
If you enjoy jazz, it's your lucky day, especially if you love a great voice. Stay tuned for Clara Gispert's interview and performance.
Welcome back. Let's continue our talk with the 2 Catalan directors, Ramon Térmens and Belén Funes, and we are joined now by our contributor, the cinema expert, Tony Garcia. Hello, Tony.
Hello, how are you? Thanks for having me.
Good. Great to have you back.
Thank you.
Well, series have gained ground and made streaming platforms popular among moviegoers and seriophiles. And with the lockdown, their use has multiplied and spread to new viewers. Well, Tony Garcia, who knows more than a couple of things about this industry, has followed this evolution. So, Tony, tell us about all this a little bit.
Well, I think the pandemic has fired up this fake dichotomy between streaming platforms and theaters, and I think
when you say theaters, that's the American term for cinema, right?
Exactly. I think it's a fake dichotomy because they are part of the same ecosystem, and it's just because of the situation right now that it seems that if you like seeing things at home, you don't like to go to the theater, and the other way around. But I think it's just it's part of the moment. It's not true, and the problem now is the only country that has the whole system of theaters working is China, and it's the main market for the US. But because of our friend Mr. Trump, that said constantly that the virus from China, etc., the Chinese audience is doing a very proactive boycott on US movies. So if you like at the top 10 on the China top 10 right now, there's no American movies there. So they lost this as well. So basically, we are in a very strange position right now for theaters, I mean, and for Hollywood. Mm-hmm. And Mulan has been released into streaming straight. The same thing is for the second part of Borat.
Yeah,
the new Aaron Sorkin film. David Fincher, Alex de la Iglesia. I mean, a lot of people is doing things now straight to streaming. So I think the biggest thing we're gonna see in the next few months in this aspect is James Bond is probably going straight to streaming, which
really?
is.
Are you sure about that?
I'm convinced of it. The only thing is, if we going down with this same path, there's no ecosystem of cinemas working properly. These guys need like 600 million to ensure that they are making money, and Hollywood needs to make money. So they're planning to sell the movie, and there's like 2 platforms already betting for it. One of them is Amazon, and the other one is Apple TV.
Okay.
So if they do it, the rumor said they're going to do it like a weekend, what they call a weekend event, which is they're going to release the movie in 2 parts, one Saturday and the other one on Sunday, which is like crazy. And it's also a big blow for cinemas because this is probably one of the biggest movies that you can see in a theater. And The other thing with this as well is it's not only this movie, because Amazon and Apple TV won 3 more movies of Bond going directly to streaming. So I think this is going to be really crazy.
Wow.
So I'm going to ask our guests if you think maybe now would be the time to ask theaters to change the strategy and start focusing more, in independent cinema, local cinema, to make people believe that there's not only blockbusters, because basically now the strategy is solely based on blockbusters. There's nothing else.
Yeah, I was checking the top 10 like 2 weeks ago, and the first 5 or 6 movies were independent movies, and this is so strange to see this in a in a screen. I don't know. Maybe it's time to recap or to make a reflection about the kind of cinema we were showing the people, and now what is happening with that, and what is our power, because sometimes I feel like the American cinema, we are like conquered by the American cinema, but if you give people independent cinema, they also go to the movies.
The problem is in the commercial centers, they don't want independent movies. They don't want it, only exceptions, and they need all these blockbusters. If the majors change the strategy and going only in streaming, these cinemas are going to close. I mean, because this is the owner of these cinemas are investors in England or in Mexico, and they see the numbers and say, well, this is not any benefits for us and any profit. And what they are going to do is sell. And then we will have a new Zara or new, H&M, whatever. It's very difficult for independents. I am distributor independent, and I release movies that I buy, European movies, or even my last movie that like a distributor was The Wild Goose Lake, Chinese movie, was in Cannes, in official competition, very good movie. But it's very difficult with this movie, even if you go in Cannes, even you have an award in Cannes, go to the commercial center theaters. And that's the problem, and I have the fear that what is going to do with these cinemas.
Do you agree, Belén?
I don't know, because I think I'm agree with what Ramon says, but what I also want to think is that the digital wave, this kind of consuming cinema in platforms and all the digital stuff, it's not only bad. And I want to explain myself. I think that is something good in the digital, because sometimes the theaters, the cinemas are conservative.
Yes.
So you can discover a lot of good filmmakers through the digital platform. I mean, for me, the platform movie, it's it's good news, filming. I feel
Absolutely.
I feel you can discover filmmakers you are not able to discover in a theater, in a cinema, because they are thinking in business, and sometimes business can be so conservative also.
Also, Marcela, there's a thing with filming is a lot of festivals, film festivals this year, they could celebrate it because they were in filming, and they discovered they had like 200,000 people watching a movie that possibly in a theater it wouldn't be any successful. Yeah. So I think that's a great thing about what I said at the beginning. There is this a fake dichotomy. The idea of streaming platforms are against theaters and the other way around. They can combine in a good way.
Exactly, that's a good point.
But the idea is that there's two ways, different ways. One way, if the platform pay you the whole movie, before they make the movie, or even later, and then it's like an original, that you can recoup the money like a producer. But if not, if we lose the theaters and we only can sell the movie in independent platforms or independent streamings, it's not a big money. It's not a big deal. It's it's really a few money that you can get from them.
Well, I think it's a long-term investment. You're educating the audience, and then maybe in 5 years you can have something from it. But first you have to invest.
Yes, no, that's right.
Okay, Tony, you have more facts about all this situation?
Yes, the thing is, I have bad news.
Great.
We are filmmakers, we are used to
More
it.
platforms are coming. So if you don't like platforms, you're gonna have a problem, because we're gonna have the next year a platform called Star, which is the equivalent of Hulu. Hulu is a platform for adult streaming in the States. And adult, I mean all the RoboCop films, Predator, Die Hard, etc.
Okay.
So they are part of the Disney family, but Disney, they don't want to put this content on Disney Plus, because Disney Plus is a family channel. So we're going to have a new channel with all the Fox content. So it's going to be even more. So my question here is, you guys think there's any difference between working for platforms as a filmmakers that you usually do, you know, with the regular industry? There's like a big difference if you work for them or for a, you know.
If you ask me, I will say I have no idea, because I've never been working to a platform. And I feel that it depends on the freedom of artistic freedom you can have when you're creating that new content. But there is something which is very, for me, it's so scary, which is the algorithm.
Yes.
So yeah, and this is because the algorithm for me cannot decide what we can or we cannot do, or even decide how we have to do that. You know, it's like so. Now I feel that there are a few great filmmakers like Alfonso Cuarón or David Fincher that are running an artistic career in the platform, but it's not the great amount of the filmmakers that are working for a platform, and it's like this. Yeah.
No, I never worked for a platform, and it's even difficult to get an interview. Pass a lot of filters until to arrive to get the green light to do it, you know. Right. And I don't know. I'm going to answer this question maybe in a few years.
Okay, Antonio, I think we have time for one last fact.
Yes, no, I would like to ask them if what would you think is going to happen, you know, and what would you like to happen? It's like a double question.
Yeah.
I have no idea. I have no idea of what's going to happen. But what I really feel like, I wanted, like you say, go back to this old normality where you can go to cinema or you can go to the platform and decide what kind of experience do you want about cinema, because it's totally different. Going to a cinema, it's totally different from staying at your house and in your couch, you know. Look for a channel. Yeah, and try hours, spend hours deciding what we are going to see. I want to go to the cinema. I feel I need it. And for me, it's something which is necessary for life.
I think that makes four of us.
Yeah, exactly. Well, meanwhile, there are people in the United States who are renting a whole cinema for private events or for, I mean, would you do that? Would you rent a whole cinema to watch a film with your friends?
I think it's a problem with the amount of people right now. So I think we can.
Yeah, that's right.
But maybe I think that there is a time to come where distributors are buying a cinema. Like a group of distributors are going to buy a cinema to show the movies they're distributing. I think this is going to happen.
I think it's going to be bad news again.
No, maybe the government could buy the theaters and try to show the filmmakers in Catalonia, you know, and on the producers. And this is an idea, old idea, that was in the cinema law approved by the parliament a lot of years ago. Never happened. You know, maybe it's time to do it. You know, I mean, this is an idea for our government.
I think we're a little bit short of money to do that.
Yeah, well, anyway, this is a highly interesting conversation, but I'm afraid we need to finish this chat here, and we won't finish before asking you a surprise question. That's our question chain. That means we have a question for you guys from last week's guest. In this case, he is a chef, a restaurant owner, and consultant. His name is Eric Basset. Let's have a look.
Hello, my name is Eric Bassett. I'm chef and owner of Bistro Bilou and Bobby's Free, Speakeasy Bar. I have a question. My question for the next coming guest, it's what are your 3 best restaurants in the world? So just for me to have 3 more good address. Thank you very much.
3 best restaurants in the world. This is going to be snob a little bit.
Come on, go ahead.
For me, the best place where I've been is Xarxa.
Okay.
For me, is El Colomi. Is a restaurant in Santa Coloma de Queralt. A friend of mine, that is Pep Trujillos, is the manager. And it's a very good restaurant, just in the center of Catalonia.
Oh, never been there, actually.
El
Neither of
Colomi,
them.
Santa Coloma de Queralt.
Okay, and Tony, maybe you can also tell us your favorite.
I'm gonna
ever?
say +1 to Belén.
Oh, yeah.
Xarxa is the best one, especially if you have the table in the kitchen. Then it's like the whole wall is, is bright.
Wow.
See, every place, every little restaurant in Donosti is
It's-
also like
yeah.
a very high restaurant.
Exactly. It's difficult to eat in a bad way in
Yeah.
Donosti.
Yeah, well.
That's a good point of San Sebastian Film Festival.
Absolutely.
Okay, well, Belén and Ramon, before we go, any new projects you are working on, any new ideas?
Yeah, I have a movie, an adaptation of a novel of Andreu Martín called Societat Negra.
Okay.
And it's a movie that I'm trying to get the money, and I would like to shoot next year. It will be great. And it's a movie about the Chinese mafia in Barcelona with wonderful characters. There's in the novel, and we'll see. I think it will be a very, very good movie.
Okay, right, Belén?
I'm writing a new script with Marçal, which is the screenwriter of my first film, and it's a movie about all the people from Andalusia that came to Barcelona during the 70s, trying to, look for a life in Catalonia. And let's see what happens. We're now writing and just thinking about the movie we want to do, so we are not in a hurry. And the situation is not like the best situation to make a film, but let's see. Just
Okay, well, taking it easy,
Yes.
right?
I don't have any movies coming.
No?
No. I'm just resting for now.
Well, not yet. We never know with you,
Not
Tony.
yet, we never know.
Yeah, we never know. Anyway, Tony, thanks a lot for coming.
Thanks a
Until
lot for
next
having
time,
me.
and
Thank you.
Belén and Ramon, good luck with your projects, and hopefully we'll be able to go back to theaters again. I mean, cinemas.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah, exactly.
She is not angry, you're not sorry. It's nobody's fault. She's not leaving you, it's just the one who once had loved you is gone.
The story of our next guest could be a Hollywood movie. It begins at a bar in Barcelona where she works as a waitress. One night, she's discovered by a talent scout who by chance listens to her singing. He gives her a phone number that will change her life completely. I have here with me today Clara Gispert. It's a pleasure to have you here. So, wow, that's a great story. Tell us more about your love affair with music and how your career started.
It was exactly like this, like you said. I was singing at the bar counter, and Manuel came to me and gave me his phone number, and then 2 or 3 weeks after, I found this paper and I decided to call him, and since then I work as a singer.
And you've been working together ever since with Manuel, who is?
Yes.
Who is Manuel?
He is the musical director of my project.
Okay, great. And when was this encounter with Manuel? How long ago was it?
7 years, more or less.
You said that you've always liked music, even if you haven't studied it professionally, but you've been in musical productions and you also do musical events and other activities. So, so tell us about all you do involving music.
I performed in 3 musical productions here in Barcelona, and at the same time I had gigs at private events and stuff.
Okay, let's talk about your style, because your style is very particular, very original. It mixes different genres such as pop, country, jazz. So how have you managed to find your own style, your own voice? It's something that comes to you naturally?
Yes, yes.
Totally.
I just feel and sing. It's the way it
because
comes.
your voice is so particular, it's so warm. That's why I'm asking you. So it's not something that you studied.
No,
it's just
a
natural thing.
Yes, I really prefer to feel my voice natural, just the way I'm talking to you right now.
If you had to tell us a few musicians or singers that inspire you, that you admire, who would they be?
Ella Fitzgerald, Billie Holiday, Julie London, Frank Sinatra. If I have to say my favorite style, it would probably be jazz.
Okay. Let's talk about a contest where you participated and which meant a lot in your career. Actually, it was a kind of a turning point. I'm talking about the Vodafone Music Talent, and you were among the 3 finalists.
Yes. It was a great experience. I just applied and I kind of forgot about it.
Okay.
And then we were in. And
You got a call, no?
Yes. And
it's like in the movies again.
Yeah, again. And last March we were performing at this beautiful theater in Valladolid.
Wow.
And it was great. Yeah.
You also performed at the Pedralbes Music Festival, and a lot of things happened since then. How do you cope with this strange situation that affects all of us?
I think that we've been so lucky. Really, I think that the performance situation here in Barcelona is tough.
Yeah.
But well, I try to be optimistic.
Optimistic, stay positive.
Yes,
right?
stay positive. I try to do new stuff, new music, and I try not to be overwhelmed about these times.
Look at the bright side,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
And today, what are you going to sing for us?
I'm going to sing She's Not Leaving You, my latest release. And it explains that you really have to face the reality and in order to move on from pain. And yeah, I think that we are gonna move on and get through these times and this situation. So, and I'm very, very, very grateful for my fan support and yes, I'm so happy.
Thank you so much, Clara, for coming today to the Weekend
Thank you for
Mag.
having me
And
here.
hopefully you'll be able to go back on stage soon. Thank you.
Quirks, confessions and music. Test your knowledge about them in our quiz Guess What? And if you don't want to, stay tuned anyway. You'll have fun.
She is not angry, you're not sorry. It's nobody's fault. She's not leaving you, it's just that the one who once had loved you is gone. She's not calling, you're not sleeping, you're too scared to see that she's not leaving you. It's just that the one who once had is free. And you seem so willfully blind to her quiet change of mind. Now you open your eyes, stood still in that half-empty room. All those dreams once in bloom now play an unknown tune. She's not playing, you're not losing. You will see in time that she's not leaving you. It's just that the one who once had loved you is fine. One day, far from now, far from here, the one you held so dear will all but disappear. And now, as it begins to fade, the feel of her tender gaze, you awake from your daze. She's not playing, you're not losing. You will see in time she's not leaving you. She's not leaving you. She is not leaving you. She's not leaving you.
We are back, and joining us now is our quizmaster Sergio Cervera. That means it's time to play.
Hi everyone! Let's start. Guess what? The quiz with no other side effects other than unexpected outburst of laughter. But let's introduce our guest today first. I think here is a first-timer, right?
I am,
That's
yeah.
right, exactly. Yeah, his name is Pau Zabaleta. You are a bartender and an actor, right, Pau?
Yes, that's right.
Love your nails, man.
Thank you.
They didn't do that to us. I mean,
Yeah,
like,
I'm a little-
What did we
a
do
little
wrong?
jealous. I had to do it myself. So.
Which bar?
Oh, that's why.
Sorry?
Which bar are you a bartender in?
Elefanta.
I'm gonna go there
It's a
as
cool
soon as they're
one,
opening
yeah.
again.
It's required to get into the bar.
That's actually the reason why I'm here today. So.
Yay!
Yeah, but that's another story.
Pau, as an actor, you've played on the stage of one of the most famous theaters in the world, the Bolshoi Theater in Moscow. So tell us
Yeah.
about this experience.
So when I finished my studies in Institut del Teatre, I moved to Prague for the last year actually. And there I started working with a theatre group, which was a non-verbal theatre group, which means that there's no language barrier. And so you can perform anywhere, and we got the chance to perform in the biggest theatre in Russia, which was great.
From Institut del Teatre to the Bolshoi Theater.
Not
Impressive. And of course, I don't want to intimidate our guests, but we have with us our two most brilliant inmates. I mean, players. Patricia Escalona and Matthew Murtha. Hi, guys.
Hello.
Hello.
Well, today we are starting out with our good old multiple choice challenge. We'll test how good your intuition is. We've got 3 stories from 3 different witnesses, so let's see if you can suss them out. And today we've asked about personal tics or quirks like this one.
When I go to sleep, I don't know when I started to do that, but I cannot get sleep if I don't do that. And it's basically I get into the bed, I have to be looking at the roof, doing like 2 or 3 minutes minimum, and then.
All right, well, after being in a face-down position, what does he do to get to sleep? No worries, I'm gonna give you 3 options. A, he counts to 100 sheep. B, he turns around and up and does a full turn. And C, he gets up and has a glass of water. What do you think? And I want to hear the science and the logics about your pick.
Because they're always so logic and
They're always,
scientific, right? Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I'm gonna say turning around and then
And
whatever,
around
flipping,
and around
you
and
know.
burn and in and down.
Plus, yeah, that's, you know.
Because why?
Because, I don't know, maybe he gets dizzy from turning around so much and so he finally gets a full sleep. So,
Goes
yeah.
to bed. All right. How about you, Paul?
So I would go with the B option too.
B option.
Yeah, because I know that Patricia always gets it right.
not in this round. Hardly ever.
And I think
He
that
has
after,
done his homework.
Yeah. And then after all the movement, I think that he gets tired, and that's the way he can finally fall asleep.
Okay. How about you, Matthew? Are you following Patricia's lead, or
Never.
you're gonna go in a rebel way?
Never. Rebel. In fact, I'm going to pick an option that wasn't even on the board. I want to say that in order to fall asleep, he closes his eyes.
Wow.
Okay, that's a risky attitude
It's
to picking up.
dangerous.
And,
All right.
I mean, like, guess what? Imagine that you pick an option that is not on the board and you get it right.
That would be incredible. Let's pick A.
A.
He counts sheep.
Just
Is that the
count
word? Sheep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly.
I heard something else.
And that is the ultimate trick to beat insomnia.
I have to turn right, but just halfway, so I stay like again 2-3 minutes upside down, and after those 2-3 minutes I ended the lap, so I end at the same position at the beginning, and that way I get sleep automatically.
Yay! So, as you said, he's kind of always right, which means you were wrong. Point goes to both of you, and now we know the secret to fall asleep. I wonder
I will
why.
try that, because
yeah,
it's hard to
exactly. Why
fall
no
asleep
one has
sometimes.
never come up with the solution? Probably because they fell asleep and couldn't tell anyone, right?
So much for rebellion, right, Matthew?
Apparently.
An option that wasn't on the board. What did
Okay,
it go
so,
wrong?
So tell us about your tricks to go to sleep. Maybe, I don't know, what do? You do some sport, you work, you
I
watch
listened
TV
to Patricia
series.
talk about her day.
Yay!
You wish.
Boom.
You
I do
wish.
wish.
That's all.
I do wish.
That's all I'm gonna say.
Boom! Boom! That was
One day.
Yeah, right. Okay, enough with the two of you.
I do
right?
some yoga nidra, which
Okay,
is
Paul,
very
what about-
relaxing. Yoga nidra. You just breathe in and breathe out and like go through all the parts of your body, and then finally you fall asleep. You don't even know where you were, and that's my trick.
interesting.
Very.
All right, guys, let's see what quirk it is that our second witness has to tell us about, okay?
When I was having dinner with my friend Alessio, and we were all eating dinner with my friends at an Indian restaurant, and at some point he got very, very like frightened and very angry about the fact that...
Wow, so what infuriated Alessio? A, the water bottle was not sealed. B, the Indian restaurant had no Parmigiano cheese. That's not cool at all.
Okay.
And C, they were both eating from the same side of the plate. I wouldn't like that either. So what do you think? Parmigiano, water never sealed before, or eating from the same side of the plate?
I have a lot of siblings and I've fought over food many times in my life. I think that it's going to be C. I think the same side of the plate.
Okay, that's really
It's
not
the only
cool
thing that
at
would
all.
infuriate.
How
Infuriate
many
me.
siblings do you have?
5.
Wow.
4 sisters and a brother. Yeah.
Wow.
A lot of love. My parents
Yeah, I
loved
bet you
each
know
other.
what you were talking about.
That's why you move away?
Yep. It was like a census problem. They said there were too many people. I had to move out because of the fire code.
And from Ohio to Barcelona.
Yeah, natural.
Natural move. How about you, Pau?
So I would say, I have 2 sisters, by the way. But I would say B, option B, because his name is Alessio. So as
Alessio and
proper
Parmigiano
Italian,
doesn't get along
he needs
very well.
Parmigiano in an Indian restaurant.
Alessio in an Indian restaurant without
Yeah.
Parmigiano, that's infuriating,
Yeah,
I bet.
of course.
Okay, how about you, Patricia?
I would go for the water thing.
The water.
Yeah.
Okay, you still feel comfortable with your choice, guys?
Very.
Yeah, very? All right, let's check it out.
We were all eating from the same plate because it was a curry. So I wanted to just have his own portion and not share it with anybody else because he was very, very maniac about bacteria and all this kind of stuff.
All right, take that into account if you go out with Alessio.
I will not.
Let's see, do you have any manias regarding food?
I have to eat all of it.
Okay.
Same here.
Never leave anything on your plate?
Same here.
And nothing on your plate either. We'll eat it all.
Same here. Yeah, yeah.
I don't have manias, but there are two things which are very popular that I don't like.
As such?
Tomato and cheese. So that's, yeah, that's hard.
I'm okay with tomato. I mean, like, you not liking tomato. I'm not okay at all with cheese.
Yeah, I know. I mean, me, myself, I look at cheese and I find it appealing, but I cannot take it.
I shouldn't have known that before the next challenge. But I'm going to try to be fair. Patricia, tell the truth.
It's not a mania. I didn't hardly even realize that I do it, but a friend made me notice that every time I make toast, before actually putting it into the thingy, into the toaster,
I'm scared now.
I grab a bite. So I grab a bite, I put it into the toaster.
That's not a mania, that's required.
That's exactly what I said, it's not a mania.
It's not a mania. I'm with you in this.
It's really awkward at restaurants, though. Because she'll go back into the kitchen.
It's like grabbing.
Yeah. She didn't even order the toast. She just has to have a bite of it.
All right, guys. Let's end with a Georgian girl who's going to tell us about a tic in one of her family members. Check it out.
My aunt. Once we were on holidays together with his son and my cousins, my aunt, and we were sitting on the field. And when we were about to leave.
All right, what did the aunt do when she stood up? Are you concerned or scared?
Very.
Yeah, very. Okay, here are the options. Option A, she turned around to keep bad energy away.
Okay.
Okay. B, she bounced on her 2 feet repeatedly to shake off the insects. And C, she said a little prayer for the ants she had sat upon. Respectful, that's very respectful.
I would go for the prayer.
The prayer,
yeah,
that's respectful.
I think, yeah, that's very nice.
That's a nice thing to do,
yeah,
right?
I have an ant invasion in my kitchen, actually.
You pray
and
for them?
I'm forced to kill them every time, and I'm
You
so
are
sorry, so I
forced.
pray after I kill them.
All right, he's forced to kill them all, and you don't say a prayer for them?
After that.
After that,
Yeah,
so you
after
first
that.
kill them, and then you pray for them.
So I make sure that they have a better
Makes
afterlife.
sense, okay.
I
good
bet
to
they
know.
prayed that you wouldn't kill them.
Yeah, probably. I'm sorry, I have to.
It's all right, their little ant god is much smaller than your god, I'm sure.
Go ahead.
Okay,
I was going to respond, but
Well,
go
we already had an answer where the correct response was turning around, so I'm gonna cross that one off and go with B.
B.
Jumping up and down to shake the insects off.
Okay, okay. Shaking insects is your peak. How about you, Patricia?
The bad energy thing.
The bad energy.
I'm gonna try it myself, actually.
Okay, let's check it out if she's right.
She suddenly started to do like that. And we were like, what are you doing? And this is not to get bad energy from anywhere or something, some bacteria or something. And it was so hilarious. Actually, it's very funny to spend time with her always because she has some beliefs about stones.
All right, she was right. Point to her. Yeah, that's actually a tic more common than people think, but normally they do to find their wallet.
So do you believe in good or bad energy, or do you have any strange rituals like her aunt?
We want to know the truth.
No.
Of course.
Patricia, please.
No, I don't. I mean, the truth is,
the
no,
truth is
I don't.
you don't.
No, don't.
Okay, okay.
Okay.
I was about to
I
beg.
believe in good and bad energy, of course, and I have experienced bad energy.
Here in our show?
Not yet.
Damn it.
No.
Here, of
Yeah.
course, there is good energy.
Yes,
Yeah.
of course.
We're telling you there is good
that's what I'm
energy
getting
here, okay?
Good vibes.
You sound just like Trump.
I don't know what you were talking about. Okay?
Greatest. It's the greatest energy.
Exactly. I have tremendous good energy, okay? Great energy.
It's not just good, it's great.
It's great.
Tremendous.
I personally don't believe in good or bad energy, but my chakra crystals do. And so I feel safe regardless.
All right.
Okay, it's good to be safe.
Good to know. And let's check the score, by the way. Patricia is, oh my God, unexpectedly winning with just 2 points. Just 2 points.
Wow.
You are, and you both are just behind with 1 point each. So There is a lot to play here.
Striking distance.
There you go, there you go, exactly.
Give me time.
Well, I think it's time to move on to the second round.
Exactly, but that will be after a very short language tip. So how do we describe positive and negative attitudes towards other people in English? Well, Mark Broderick is going to give us some useful vocabulary about it, so let's check it out.
Hey, so I have more adjectives for you, both positive and negative to do with attitude. 2 words for each one. The first one is affectionate. A person who is affectionate loves to hug and kiss and generally be close to somebody like you would be in your family. There are times, of course, when somebody doesn't want this and they would be considered distant. In Catalan, you have exactly the same word, distant, and it means, of course, that you do not want to be affectionate with that person. Next one is cheerful. I'm generally a cheerful person, happy, joyous, full of good humor. However, there are times during the week where I am grumpy, and a person who is grumpy is not happy, hasn't slept a lot, don't go near them, they're grumpy. They don't want to deal with people in that moment. Now, we have the next one, of course, which is grateful. I'm very happy when somebody gives me a present. I'm thankful and I appreciate it. This is being grateful. If, of course, you are not grateful, you are ungrateful. You are a person who does not say thank you or does not appreciate other people's good deeds. Finally, we have caring. A person who listens to people, is sympathetic, takes care of them when they need it. And of course, the easy option, of course, you're thinking would be uncaring. But I'm going to give you another one, and that would be callous. A person who is insensitive, cruel, and has no real emotion. So, if you were to choose any of them, try to be affectionate, cheerful, grateful, and caring. Thank you.
Now, yes, it's time for the second round, which I think is a bit special today.
Yes, it is indeed, because if you have glanced at the calendar, as you sure have, you'll know that today is False Confession Day. Impressive, right? So I mixed up the true or false challenge and the speed challenge in a completely new round.
Okay. That's right, we are going to read out confessions made by celebrities, and you'll have to decide in 3 seconds if they are true or false.
Okay. All of you will have to show the true or false sign and win 2 points for every right answer. Okay? So let's start. Listen up.
Tiger Woods owned up to many extramarital affairs. Reportedly, he has had no less than 120. True or false?
Now, show it. True, and true. Which means...
Okay, everybody is right.
Everyone is right. The 3 of you
Well
got
done.
the 2 points. Well done. Okay, here you go.
It's in the hole.
Here we go. Miley Cyrus confessed she sticks out her tongue out of nerves because she doesn't know how to smile. True or false? 3, 2, 1, show it to me. False, true, and false. That means Pau got the 2 points. He's right.
Because I do it too, so.
Okay.
But you know how to smile.
Lionel Messi admitted he preferred basketball to football when he was a kid. True or false?
Show it to me now. True, true, and true.
Well,
means
not
point goes
really.
to no one.
Yeah, well.
Next, Megan Fox admitted she sometimes forgets to flush the toilet, even in other people's houses. True or false? Show it to me now. False.
Megan Fox is perfect and would never do that.
Maybe that makes her perfect because they are right. 2 points for each, and you are wrong as usual.
All right. Lady Gaga confessed she was broke during her Monster Ball tour because she spent all her money on her stage.
True or false? Show it to me now. True, Pau, false, and false.
And Matthew is right.
2 points to you,
2
man.
points to Matthew.
Yeah. So here we go. Johnny Depp confessed he sleeps with a teddy bear. True or false? 3, 2, 1. Respond now. False, false, and true. That means 2 points for each of you. You are wrong again.
Wow. Katy Perry's admitted that she once kept a lock of hair from both Miley Cyrus and Taylor Swift in her handbag. True or false?
Who hasn't?
Yeah, who hasn't, right? True, true, true.
Okay, and everybody is right.
Yeah, both
Well
of
done.
you. The weirdest thing Kate Richards confessed to have snorted was some of his father's ashes with cocaine. True or false?
There's
True.
nothing in this world that has not been up that man's nose.
True, true, and false. That means point goes to both of you. It's shockingly true.
Okay, Elton John admitted ripping off a song from Richard Clayderman. True or false?
Oh, the answers false, true, and true.
Okay, and Patricia is right.
She's right as usual. 2 points for you.
All right.
All right, here we go. Robert Downey Jr. claims that a bad experience with a horrible Burger King hamburger saved him from his drug addiction. True or false? Show the answers now. False, true, and true. Point goes to both of you. Yeah. Well done. It's true.
Okay, well done.
All the
Interesting.
true statements actually have been said in interviews, much to the joy of the journalist involved. But sometimes there is such a thing as too much information. All right, guys, this is very exciting. Let's see who's winning. Let's check the score. Our guest, today's guest, is winning ahead with 15 points. Well done, Paul.
Thank
Then
you.
Patricia is a bit behind with 12 points, which means that a lot of things can happen yet. And we have Matthew with 11, man. How do you feel about losing? I mean, 11 points, 11, you're right. Okay, today's winner actually will be clearly decided in the lyrics challenge.
Exactly, as always said, she's going to recite a few verses to each of you and you have to guess the song or the artist.
Yeah, exactly. That is, if you don't want to sing. 3 points for every right answer, by the way. Just keep in mind that if you don't get it right, we'll pass the question on to the next contestant.
And as usual, Patricia will go first, so listen up.
You feel excited? Here we go. Get ready, Patricia. Now, I've heard there was a secret chord that David played, and it pleased the Lord. But you don't really care for music, do you? It goes like this: the fourth, the fifth. All right, Patricia.
Now, American Pie?
That is not correct.
I actually have no idea whatsoever.
Matthew.
Like a Virgin by Madonna.
You wish. Point goes to no one.
Well, good try.
There was
Yeah, that's true.
and it pleased the Lord, but you don't really care for music, do you?
All right, so that was Leonard Cohen singing Hallelujah, of course, a song that has been covered by hundreds of other artists, notably by Jeff Buckley or Rufus Wainwright.
All right, so let's move forward. Pau, your turn to win today's quiz. Okay, that goes to you. Pay attention. Won't you stay? Won't you lay? Stay forever and ever and ever and ever. La la la. La 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 la. La la la.
I know this one.
La 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 la. That would be it. I enjoy doing that so much.
Won't you stay?
Won't
Won't you lay?
Stay forever and ever and ever and ever.
I would say
La la la. La 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 la. I just wanted to do it again. La la la. All right. So, any guesses? No?
Yeah, I would say We Are the World by Michael Jackson.
Okay, that is not correct. Let's move forward. Matthew, your turn. Patricia's close to get her chance, and she wants it badly.
I just had one question about the lyric.
Come on, man, quickly.
Was it la 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 or la 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 la?
No. You didn't get it. None of them. It was la la la, La 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 la. We're paying attention. That's the one. No. Patricia in 3, 2, 1. Patricia.
La 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 la.
Listen up, everybody. Music. Here it comes the title. Ever and ever and ever. Listen now. La 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 la. Maybe it was because of my accent. That's what it was. All right, can get you out of my head with Kylie Minogue, of course.
Exactly, one of Kylie's greatest hits, which peaked #1 in the charts of 40 different countries.
All right, Matthew, your turn. Okay. Pay attention and listen, because that comes from the bottom of my heart. All right? Maybe I didn't treat you quite as good as I should have. Maybe I didn't love you quite as often as I could have. Little things I should have said and done. I just never took the time.
I just need a moment. That was beautiful.
It's okay to get emotional, man.
That was very moving.
Yeah? I've been waiting for you to say that to me for so long.
It's not easy to say, Matthew. You have to understand me. It's not easy.
I'm gonna go with Paul McCartney's "Baby I'm Amazed."
Hold on. Let's check that moment. Because Patricia is really touched by our beautiful and emotional moment.
I'm trying to summon up the melody, and I know the song, and I can't.
Oh, it was just because of that. You weren't. You. I thought it was our love story. I thought it was because of us. No.
Okay. Yeah, it's
Matthew?
Elvis Presley. No, is it?
Oh my gosh, is it Elvis Presley?
That's Elvis Presley. Let's check it out. Music, play the music.
Maybe I didn't treat you quite as good as I should have. Maybe I didn't love you quite as often as I could have.
Here it goes.
Little things I should have said and done.
Yeah.
I just never.
Patricia points to you, but still so, Matthew, you know that you are always on my mind.
I was so close.
You were close. You were close.
Okay, which was not originally sung by Elvis, but by Gwen McRae, and it's been sung by many others as well.
All right, guys. Well, we have come to the last song, but first, let's check the score. Let's check it out. Patricia is ahead with 18 points, but Pau is right behind with 15 points. Well done, man.
All right.
And Matthew stick with 11 points. As he
Well,
was.
it's okay. I'm waiting for the last
he
round.
will. Okay.
Okay, so the last song is for all of you, and it's going to be worth 5 points. And the first to use the instrument is the one who gets to answer first.
But be sure to get it right, otherwise you will lose 5 points and your competitors will get another chance, okay? You feel the excitement?
Mm-hmm.
Everything can happen. So,
Okay.
here we go. Oh, you can dance. That was too close, and because he was our guest, I'm gonna give you the chance. Go for it, man.
You can dance, you can.
Music, play the music.
Yeah, well done.
Time of your life.
Impressive, job well done, of course. Dancing Queen.
Exactly. Released in 1976, it has arguably become the most recognizable song by ABBA.
Okay, so we have a winner who is Pau. 20 points for you, my friend. Patricia is right behind with 18 points, and Matthew, as I predicted, He's still with his 11 points. He's happy with it.
Well, Pau, I hope you had a good time today with us.
I did.
Yeah,
It was
enjoyed
fun.
it?
I hope I can be back at some point.
Actually.
It's on camera. Now now
exactly. Me too. I'm
feel
sure
the pressure.
Sergi agrees as well.
Absolutely, 100%, yeah.
Okay, so thanks a lot for coming. Until next time, and also thank you, Matthew and Patricia. And with Dancing Queen, we come to the end of today's show. We'll be back next week, but you can watch more by visiting our website and following us on social media. There you can try and solve the guess word by Mario Serra, which is small cubes in the cemetery. That's 4 letters. Well, thanks for watching and have a great week. Bye-bye.